Hello again, everyone. So we're back today. We're going to be talking about GVM lights. So these guys have served me well. Done a good job over the years. All right, let's bust it open. Okay. So, each one of their lights, this is the 520S, I want to say. Master Series, now they call it. These lights are very high CRI, high TCLIR, PQ, whatever. There's a whole bunch of different ratings. Basically, I look at CRI, which is color rendering index, and I have some lights that I think they cast a little bit of green or they cast a little bit of magenta or something like that, and they aren't quite perfect. But these boys, you can fit so much CRI in these. I think GVM really did it right with these. Basically, you get power cables, you get this square diffuser bracket, which I don't currently have. This thing's tweaking out a little bit. So you get a diffuser bracket, which helps you kind of diffuse light a little bit better. It sets it off of the actual chassis a bit, but then it also allows you to double diffuse because you can put a diffuser in the chassis itself, and then you can also mount this thing. I choose to leave the barn doors on these things. I never really found a use for doubling it up. I find it cuts the power too much. So instead, this is how I keep mine configured. They have the, when you pack them, you got to flip the yoke upside down. But basically, have the barn door with the GVM logo. That way you know which way is up. Makes it real easy. And you flip these open, and you have the diffuser already inside. This thing I like a whole lot. So let's ignore the packaging for now. Let's put this thing on a stand. Okay. I'm putting this panel right in my light. Let's switch sides. So these lights have really done me well. I've used these on documentary shoots with eMediaWorks. I've used these on interviews for PBS. I've used these on short films that I've worked on, all kinds of stuff. You can gel these really easily. If you take the diffuser out, it's got like a little click thing right up here. You just pull on the tabs, pull the diffuser out, and then you've got the raw 520 beads. They look beautiful. We'll show you more about those later. You can slide a gel right in there, which is really nice. I have these ones from, I think they're Roscoe, but basically you fold them in half and you can just slip them right inside this part. You can still barn door it to control the light a little bit. There is, obviously, as you can see, some spillage down here, but doesn't make that big of a difference, whatever. You can still kind of point your light a little bit. It's going to be pretty diffused by that point too. So one of the big things that I like about these is if you look on the back, they have 2 NPF battery ports along with this really nice aluminum grill. So this is for heat dissipation, actually. So these things stay really, really nice and cool. They don't need a fan or anything. This is my big old box of batteries. We've got phone chargers and tons of these NPF batteries. So let's put one of these 960s on. So this thing does take 2. I don't think they're hot swappable, but let's actually check. No, that's what I thought. Okay, so these do require 2 batteries in at once. But when you do, get a lot of light. So these things, I'm going to point them off frame a little bit for you. So these things produce a whole heck of a lot of light. That's actually at minimum right now. They're right in the center, so basically both strips of LEDs are being powered. So if you go more towards one side or the other, you lose one of the other strips. You might be able to see it in there. No, probably not. All right. That's basically minimum power for both LED strips on. You turn it all the way up, it gets crazy bright, and it's got some decent throw to it. So I'm going to throw this on as a fill light. I have a 1320 up in that corner. That's from Neewer. I don't think the color rendering index is quite as high on that one. It also doesn't have a display like this one does, where it'll show the actual color rating. I've heard that these aren't exactly accurate. So typically what I do is I set it to the center and then I balance in camera. But yeah, let's set this thing up. Let's add it to our shot. See if we can even out this scene a little bit. So that's at about 1/3 power. And as you can see, it creates a nice little glow in my eye over here. That's called a catch light. See it right there? Whoop. There. Oh, there it's gone. That's back. There it's gone. That creates an effect that makes people look really alive in your images. So this is actually working out. This is working out better as a key light right now. So I've got this shining right about this direction. You can kind of see the shadow. My now fill is up here. That's a wider panel, so I can almost dial that back, get a little bit more drama, and then have this as my fill light. GVM makes some really great panels, and these Master Series lights, while they're not super cheap, they cast really high rendering color. So as you can see, like my skin color, it looks a little bit more vibrant than I think that it did before. I'll leave that up to you to decide. But at the same time, this company, they make some really great stuff. This little light down here is another GVM light. It's the 50RS, which is an RGB light. You can see it's set to blue right now to kind of splash some color back there. We might have a little too much light in our scene right now. That 50RS is a little bit more expensive, but it also has those bicolor functions. So it has some really high color rendering index LEDs in there, which means you just get really good color for video. I'm a big fan of these lights, and honestly, I would suggest that you check them out. They make some smaller panels. They make some less expensive panels. I haven't tested those out yet. I do want to check them out. Hint, hint. But yeah, we'll talk about those soon. Anyway, thanks for watching. Definitely check out those Master Series lights. I really want to check out the larger 670Ss. Those seem really fantastic. Oh, one feature I forgot to mention about these is that these are all, I believe they're app controllable, at least the new ones, but these ones all talk to each other wirelessly. So I have two of these, and you can basically set them up, turn one to master control, the other one to slave, and then suddenly you only have to turn one light to change both features. You can change the other light and then switch your master to another channel and then adjust that independently. That way you can have that key and fill and balance them accordingly. Like say they're the same distance to your subject, you want to set one at 50% and one at 100%, you can easily do that from one position, which is nice. Anyway, thank you for watching. I'm going to have a lot more stuff coming up soon. We've got tripods, sliders, gimbals, all kinds of crap that we need to check out. Also batteries. These battery banks are really nice.